Okay, let me know if this has ever happened to you. You do something and you make your mother mad or your father mad, and then they proceed to give you the silent treatment. Or they give you the one-word answers until your behavior changes or until you do the thing that they wanted you to do that you didn't want to do. This is how a lot of us grew up. We grew up in homes where the silent treatment was how you were punished for not behaving in the expected way. And we have carried this behavior on into our friendships and into our relationships with our significant others, with our partners, husbands, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, etc. Somebody does something that you don't like and you stop talking to them. You don't reply to their messages. You don't like their stuff on social media. You're just like, I am not going to give this person my time until they behave the way I want them to behave. And this is behavior that you probably learned at home or at school. And that is how people got you to do what they wanted. And that is how you are getting people to do what you want them to do for you. And studies have shown that giving people the silent treatment is actually really, really emotionally damaging. And Malik Teal, whose podcast I listened to very avidly, did a really good podcast the past couple of weeks about the silent treatment and what you can do to people that give you the silent treatment and why you shouldn't give people the silent treatment. And I've noticed that on social media, we're talking a lot about, not going to give anybody my time, if you're not rolling with me, if you're not getting my vibe, I'm out of here. I'm just going to go ahead and do what I've got to do, etc., etc. And that is how society is becoming more selfish, and we're not giving grace to people that are needing time to grow. We all need time to grow. And if we cut everybody off just because they're not doing what we want them to do, that's really, really immature. But today I want to talk about the people that have been punished with, silence. If you have been the victim of it for a very long time, when you've been punished with silence long enough, you equate it with rejection, and it is rejection. But you equate it with rejection in a way that every kind of silence is rejection to you. This means that when people in your life are busy and have no time to talk, you internalize it and you feel rejected, even when they're not rejecting you. So for example, if you write somebody a message and they take 3 or 4 hours to answer, you take it as that person no longer loves you. You start questioning your part in their life. Are they mad at you? And then you keep writing message after message after message when the person was basically still at work. They were in a meeting, they went to the bathroom, they were in the grocery store. But because you have been a victim of the silent treatment, you no longer know where you stand. And I found myself in this situation a lot where, I have been treated with the silent treatment, and I've given the silent treatment to people because I have to fix them and they need to treat me better. And the only way to do it is to be silent. I've hurt people and I've been hurt by the silent treatment. And when somebody has naturally been busy, I've internalized it and thought, oh my gosh, I've made this person mad and they're not speaking to me. I'm going to have to make up for it. I'm going to have to tell them a joke. I'm going to have to smile. I'm going to have to take whatever it is that they, come back to me with. And that is not the right way to live. So it's a huge emotional wound that needs healing. And we need to stop inflicting this pain on people. We're damaging them. And what happens is then nobody can trust that your silence is genuine, that you're not upset with them. So if what you do is give people the silent treatment for not doing what you want them to do for you, and when you're just naturally silent, like, oh, I'm just going to go out and, have a date on myself, or you are in the grocery store, nobody trusts that you just need alone time. Everybody starts thinking, oh, you're upset now, like what's going on? And this is not good for your quality of life because nobody can trust your silence anymore. This ruins the natural lull that sometimes happens in relationship, and the victim is forced to keep the relationship on crack just because they feel safe. So people are forced to constantly stay in touch with you, constantly make you talk because they're afraid that you're upset with them. This does not work. Stop giving people the silent treatment. If you have a problem with someone's behavior, approach them and say, hey, I don't like that you're doing this, let them know how you feel. Don't just ghost on them and then, never be heard from again. you're hurting them. Let them know what you don't like about their behavior. And then if they don't change, you can decide whether you don't want them to be in your life or not. But just not saying anything and then expecting them to read from the silence what they did wrong, that's hurtful, because you stay wondering what you've done, what is not good about you, how can you make up for something you don't even know what that something is. And we do this to our children, we do this to our family, we do this to our friends. It's much better to just say, hey, this is why I'm upset with you. This is what's bothering me. Stop ghosting on people. Stop inflicting pain with the silent treatment. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for listening.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.